Hello, welcome to the Minimalist CDC, and today I'm going to do a teardown and disassembly maintenance on this guy right here. This is the Civivi Baby Banter with the Warncliffe treatment. So, if you saw my intro video to this, the first impressions, like this thing is a little gritty right here. Like I can feel um, the detent ball rolling against the steel liners, and I'm kind of wondering: is the whole blade stonewashed, or did they actually polish the detent ball path, because it feels like it's running across a stonewash surface, just a little friction. So we're gonna see if we can't clean that up, as well as maybe any factory gunk or anything that came with the knife, and get it up and running in a proper working order. So we are first going to just take it apart. So I think I'm only going to need a T8 and a T6 for this. So let's start there. So this is my T8. I'm hoping it's T8 only, but we'll see. First things first, pocket screws. Nope, T6. Civivi loves their T6 pocket screws. So let's get that out. And so if you like these type of disassembly videos, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe. It does help me out. And even if you don't have this knife, I'm hoping you can get some takeaway about how to disassemble a knife properly and work on one, because it's a good skill to have. And always I go into these blind. I am not going in as an expert. I've never taken this knife apart before in my life and just want to tinker with it. So we're back to the T8, and I'm seeing blue Loctite on all these screws, which is nice. They really a lot of times they won't take that level of effort to make sure that the knife is properly put together for the people who have no intention of taking it apart. Oh man, that is tight in there. Oh, please tell me that isn't like red Loctite or something. Oh, there it goes. Be careful. So one of the reasons why I use these WeHa bits is because they're hardened steel and they're really good. Sometimes though, if you use a soft steel, you could strip these screws out. Just be careful, because like stripping out a pivot screw is miserable. Yeah, there's some sort of Loctite in there. You see all that white gunk around the threads? It wasn't blue Loctite, but it's definitely holding it apart, holding it together. So we'll see the micro milling here on the inside of the scale for where the mechanism is. And it looks like there's excess oil, because you see the beating up of the oil all over the inner scale. We're going to clean that up as well, because we don't need oil down here. Imagine it's just the way that it happens to get on this piece in the factory. And so yeah, this whole liner is stonewashed. Like you see that right there. There is a track that the ball bearings have worn into the area right here, and imagine that will get better and smoother as time goes on. But here's the blade. Let's take a look at it. Yes, the whole blade is stonewashed. It does appear that there is a detent ball track, but it's pretty light. I imagine that's why I'm getting some friction as it goes along that detent ball track. It is dragging a little bit. There's even stonewashed up in the pivot. So the reason why they would do that is honestly cost savings. Like if you have to actually mask off pieces of this knife before you do the stonewashing and then unmask them, it's just extra steps. And like Civivi is a budget brand after all. But the stonewashing looks nice. Like the fact that even the inner liners are stonewashed, that's cool. I'm a fan. All right, so first things first, get some paper towels and some rubbing alcohol. We're going to clean this guy down. It's not really dirty, but I want to get off the factory grease, because by and large, factory grease isn't all that great. Like it is probably the cheapest stuff you can put on there to make it slippery. So I'm going to get that off. I'm going to take it off the bearings. I'm going to take it off this bearing here. And all I'm doing is rubbing the bearings around on the alcohol pad. And then this scale where we see all that oil, I'm just going to get that off. And it doesn't take too long. It's a pretty easy step. Get dog hairs. Man, my dog sheds like crazy. And so they get all over my stuff. Alright, this is where I want to take some extra care because I want to get all the oil off, but also I want to make sure that that surface is clean because in my estimation, that is what's causing my grittiness, is just possibly not the cleanest surface. And that looks a lot better. I imagine if I took this out with these posts, because what's holding that in is these screws right here. I imagine if I'd find some grease on that side of the things, I'm not really going to worry about it because why? It's hidden. Maybe the next time I take this knife apart to do maintenance, I'll do a full one, but it doesn't worry me that much. So got some schmutz there. I'm just going to add a little bit of KPL in where the bearings sit there. Pop a bearing on. Oh, I got a loose post. Let's make sure that's going to be our stop pin. Put that back where it belongs. Yeah, these posts are going to be held in by screws on the other side. That guy isn't, so just be careful and aware. I'm going to put a little bit of KPL right here. And like as I'm dragging this, I don't know if you can hear that. Like I'm dragging this. Yeah, that stonewash surface is causing friction. So my estimation is if I sit here and fidget with this and flick it and really rub those grooves in, I'm going to get a lot better performance out of this guy after I've worn down that scratchy surface from the stonewashing. Just put a little bit. It's probably a little too much lube, but I am going to, like I said, fiddle with this, and I want to make sure I got enough to do what I want to do there. And then I'm going to put this liner back on. I'm just going to put a little bit here. Can't hurt it. Well, astute viewers will see that I'm doing it upside down. So I'm going to actually put it where the bearing racer is. And then this piece I'll wipe off because I don't want that oil down in the bottom of the knife. Yeah, we're doing this live. We are not pre-recording or pre-doing any of this. We're scripting it, so I will make mistakes. And then once that's done, I'm going to get the scale on. At this point, I want to get the pivot back in. First, though, you said all that crustiness that was on the pivot. Let's see if I can show you that. I'm not sure if it's focusing properly, but it's just got a bunch of like white nastiness on there. So all I'm going to do with that is try to get it out. It seems like alcohol is doing an okay job with helping me just dislodge it from the threads. And so, yeah, it's a little bit better. I'm not going to blue Loctite it right now because I may take it apart again later and fiddle with it. But I just want to get it back so that we can test out our work on camera here. But normally when I'm done with doing maintenance, I'll use the blue Loctite on the pivot screw so I can dial it in and make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. All right. I'm kind of curious. Let's see, I have a... do I have it handy? I have a Civivi milled pocket clip that I bought for another knife that it didn't fit. I was going to see if I could stick it on this one. I guess it's not handy. We'll try that another time. So, well, we still got the T8. We'll get that screwed down. And then switch back to the T6 for our pocket clip. I like to leave these screws just in the pocket clip because they are a pain in the butt sometimes. Like that one just fell out, which kind of negates the whole point of what I was saying. Back to leaving them in there. But sometimes you're clumsy. And usually what I do will... these aren't magnetic. I wonder if they're titanium. Huh. That'd be a neat touch if the screws are titanium. Alright, so pocket clips in. How we doing? Ooh, that is a little bit of wiggle. Going back to the T8. So I'm going to tighten that up just a hair. And then no wiggle. It's going to be harder to quantify. I can still feel that grittiness. Not to the same extent, and it does seem to glide over it better, but I can still feel it. So I think just sitting on the couch and flicking this a bunch to wear in that groove, and so that the hardened ceramic ball bearing just kind of wears down the imperfections where that stone washing um, left some traces, will get us there. So, but that's how we disassemble and maintain this little guy. The lessons learned here will transfer to a lot of different pocket knives. But I appreciate your like and subscribe, and you guys hanging out with me. And y'all have a great day.